Welcome to The Worthy Woman, a podcast for the intuitive, ambitious woman who's ready to regulate her nervous system, reconnect with her body, and rise to the next level of success, health, and purpose. I'm your host, Jo, manual osteopath, holistic coach, and nervous system guide, here to walk with you as you heal from the inside out and create a life and a business that actually feels good. On this podcast, we explore the connection between your body, emotions, subconscious patterns, and your ability to lead, create, and live from your worth. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of The Worthy Woman. My name is Johanna, if you are new here, and today we're talking about basically my biggest month yet in business. So I had my highest paying month in the month of March, and I wanted to talk about this because one, it ties into the work that I obviously do, but it really didn't come with me like pushing harder or doing more, and so I want to talk about this. For the last, we'll say 10 years, have been at a plateau in my business. And in my business, I mean like all aspects of my business, like my clinical stuff, my additional offerings, right, that I've started to do online over the years. And in March, I finally surpassed that stubborn limit that I have been at forever. And as much as it wasn't like, an astronomical, massive leap, massive growth, like some people go from like making 10K a month to like 50K a month, like it wasn't anything crazy like that. But I still broke through that limit that I had been at for a decade, right? So this was a huge win for me, and I was like super, super excited about it. And what was interesting was I didn't actually do this by hustling or pushing more or doing more. I actually posted less kind of on social media. So I did start another Instagram for my clinic stuff, but I didn't really start posting more. Like I was posting on both of my channels, like my personal one, which is more of my business and female entrepreneur based stuff. And then I started my clinical stuff for more of my osteopathic in-person and Reiki services. But yeah, I didn't really start posting more. I didn't start selling more. I did create, a couple new offers. I had my Reiki training in the beginning of the month, and then I had a new event that I host in person. I had that on an evening. But other than that, I really didn't do anything extra. And realistically, those two things didn't really bring in the extra money, we'll say, that I acquired. Like obviously they helped, right? But I saw a big shift in just even who I was seeing and who I was treating and who I was working with outside of just these like more event style income streams. So what did I do? If I didn't really work harder, I didn't really create more content, I didn't really promote myself more necessarily, what did I do? I worked on my subconscious mind and my energy and kind of my nervous system and all of that too. But my more intentional focus was on the subconscious mind piece. And so I've been working with my own coach because I think we all can benefit from having coaches because they can kind of point out things, see our blind spots. There were some things that she had pointed out to me and said to me that I hadn't necessarily considered it from those perspectives before. And so as she's helping me see my blind spots, she's giving me some homework and stuff, and I'm still working on these things. But it's really interesting. First of all, it's interesting going through subconscious work because you start to see how certain parts of your life are overlapping. Like one problem is creating multiple problems, if that makes sense, right? Like one belief is showing up in a lot of different areas of your life, which I find very fascinating. So it's like sometimes when you unlock a certain block, a certain subconscious belief, other things start, taking off in your life, right? Which is really cool. It's kind of like getting some extra bang for your buck a little bit. And so we've been working through these elements of like, what does hard work mean, and calling in abundance, and opening myself up to like receive abundance, and self-love and self-care, and what it truly means to like love yourself, right? Like truly, truly love yourself. And so we've been working through all these different like little layers of things. And within doing that, and me showing up and doing the work, I have seen a shift financially. Now, I've been avoiding some of the other stuff that I need to do. Some of the deeper stuff, we'll say. There's a little bit of resistance there, which we've been talking about, but which is kind of interesting. It's interesting when you can acknowledge it and you can see it, and you're like, but I'm still doing it. I find that very interesting, how cognitively something's maybe not good for you, or you should do something, or you should shift something, or start something, and then you just like still don't do it. I find that very fascinating. And I mean, I see that in a lot of aspects of my life, but it's just very interesting. So yeah, I basically started diving into subconscious work, and that helped me have my highest month yet. And I think that's where I love this work, because I didn't have to do anything different in my business. I didn't have to show up in a different way. I didn't have to push myself and force myself to show up in a certain way or market myself in a certain way. I just had to be available. I had to be available and open to receive. I had to have the capacity to receive more and shift my mindset and my beliefs around that I am worthy of more. And so I'm really excited, one, to see how April's going to go. I'm interested to see, it's like, okay, now that I've had a higher month, can I sustain that? Right. And so it's kind of almost like a little bit of this like game. And it's kind of fun, even though you're kind of like, shit, I hope this will work, right? Those doubts kind of start to like creep in. But I'm excited to kind of see how this goes for me and what this journey looks like, and to continue to share it with you guys. Again, a lot of us think that, if I'm going to make more money, or it's like, how are the clients going to come in? How are the opportunities going to show up? You don't really have to know the how. Like in some ways, yeah, you got to show up in your business. You got to be present. You got to have the time open in your schedule. You got to be available for clients to book in, or, whatever your business looks like. But at the end of the day, you really just have to be open and ready to receive, right? Like you really just have to believe that it's possible, that your schedule can be full, your offers and products can be sold out. You just have to believe that that's possible, and that it doesn't take a lot of hard work. And then things just happen. It's like the craziest thing. Like, if you've never done subconscious work, it is so weird, because you're like, I don't know, something just shifted. Something just happened. And like, sometimes you do know specifically what you shifted, but you still don't really understand it physically, because you're like, I don't really know what shifted, but I that doesn't bother me anymore, or that doesn't scare me anymore, or that doesn't worry me anymore. Like even in, I think it was around December for me, I was doing a lot of identity work around, finances and stuff like that. And I kind of got to this point where I was like, there was still like, ooh, how is this going to go? How am I going to pay that bill? How am I going to do this? But I wasn't worried. It was kind of a weird shift where I was just like, okay, I know consciously, I'm like, logically, I'm like, hey, these things are coming up. I got to pay these things, because I have a lot of like, it's Christmas time, but I love to buy gifts because it's one of my love languages. But I also have a lot of my like, what do you call them? Oh my gosh, I'm like blanking on the word. Basically the fees for my practices. So like with my osteo and my massage license, I have fees that I have to pay for my associations and my colleges. And so I have to pay these, and they're all due at the end of the year. I don't know why they do this to people. It's mean to have Christmas and then fork out thousands of dollars as well. But yeah, those are all due. And so it was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I have got a lot of things coming out, right? And expensive things. So that are just not, normally we'll say they're in the budget, but they're not monthly expenses, we'll say. And so normally I would be panicking. I'd be freaking out, even if the solution was there, right? And this year I was just like, yeah, it'll work out. It'll sort itself out. It'll be fine. Plus, I went on my trip. So I just had like a lot of expenses coming out at once. And so you start to get a little paranoid. And also in January, I decided to, well, technically before I had already made this decision in like November, but in January, I fully moved into my own practice. So then you're like, holy shit, what's January going to look like? Because now I'm fully on my own, you know? So it was just a lot. And yeah, everything has worked out. Like, and I've been able to do this because, and not totally lose my shit, because I have been doing this nervous system work. I've been working on my mindset through subconscious work, shifting my energetic frequency, listening to subliminals, listening to things to help me open myself up and believe that certain amounts of money are possible for me. And that, again, it's not going to require me to, you know, sacrifice my energy and sacrifice my time in order to get it, if that makes sense. So it's like I've been having to reframe definitely this, like, working hard and what that means. And, you know, if my schedule's full, what does that mean for me and my business and my energy and my capacity for things, right? And so I've been working on reframing some of those things too. So yeah, I feel like I wanted to share this because so many people think that, like, oh, if I'm going to make more money, it's going to require a lot more work. A lot of times we just have to get either creative with what we're already doing, learn how to like leverage ourselves, right? But also, it also is like reliant on us believing what is possible. And it sounds so hokey, or it can sound very hokey, but like, if you don't believe it's possible for you to sell out your offers, if you don't believe it's possible for someone to sign with you last minute, if you don't believe it's possible for you to make X amount of money because like you don't know where it's going to come from, like even in February, the month before, I had an amount of money become available to me that came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. And it like massively helped me, right? It gave me the ability to start to set things up that I maybe didn't have the money for before, and that it was going to help leverage and move my business forward. But if I wasn't doing this work, the subconscious work, the energetic work, it wouldn't have come into my awareness, or maybe I would have been too afraid to say yes to it, or maybe when it emailed me, I wouldn't have seen it, you know? Like, it could have been so many different reasons as to why I didn't take this opportunity. But I did have it. Right? And sure, you could say it's convenience, like, or what do people say? Not convenience, but yeah, kind of like, oh, isn't that convenient? It's just convenient that happened to show up in that time frame. Sure, maybe. But I didn't really have these things happening in the past, you know? Over this last, like, year, we'll say, of me really, because it was in the spring that I got my first level 1 and 2 of my Reiki training. Ever since that point, my life has just like, not so much like shifted on the outside, but it's shifted internally for me. And now a year later, not even a year later, truthfully, like 6 months later, these things are taking off, right? Like, I got that opportunity to go to Tulum and showcase my gifts, and to be able to go. I got the opportunity to like start my Reiki training. I like to host, like to teach it. You know, money's coming in, highest months, transitioning in my business. Like, there's been a lot of things where I feel like the financial side is starting to catch up, but there's been so many shifts and changes in this last, like, it probably started in, honestly, probably like 3 to 6 months after I started doing the energetic work, that it really started to shift. And that's why I can't stress this stuff enough, because my business and stuff has been very much in the plateau, the same thing year after year, same struggles, same issues. And it wasn't until I started implementing this stuff, I had looked up strategies, I had marketing coaches, I had all kinds of shit. And I still wasn't seeing progress, wasn't seeing a shift. And now, all I've done the different is incorporate energetic, nervous system, and subconscious work. And things are changing in my life. And I just feel like there is so much evidence in my life, as much as it's, maybe small and it's not millions of dollars. Like some people have these massive leaps. I feel like my journey is more, we'll say, realistic and more normal. I mean, everyone can blow up at any point in time when it comes to like their finances or their exposure or their virality or whatever. But not everyone's going to have that experience, right? It's these small little steps along the way that start to shift and change. And it just opens you up to so much more and so much more potential. And so if you're wanting to increase your sales, increase the amount of money you're making, and you've been working really, really hard, and maybe you've been working really hard on the marketing and the strategy and the implementations and the business models and like your web page and your content and whatever, your offers, right? Those things are important. You need to have those things in place. But if you've been doing all of that and you're like, okay, my offers are pretty much set in place. I have my offers, I have my social media going, I have all of this, and you're not implementing any sort of the energy or the nervous system or subconscious work, it might be time to dive into that. Might be time to dive into that. So, yeah. I feel like it's something that everyone should at least give a shot. A lot of us have implemented like journaling or affirmations, but it's just missing. Anytime I learned about it in the past, it was missing something. I was just like, this feels dumb. Like, this just feels like it's not working. And it's because it was missing something. It was missing the more physical, the more subconscious side of things, to really have that like physical change, that physical expression, like the body change, right? Your nervous system, your energy has to actually shift, as well as your subconscious, so that your conscious mind can actually start to think and operate differently. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. I wanted to share that little win with you guys, a little bit of a different episode, but I wanted to share that win with you and really show you that like it doesn't have to come from doing more or being more available or pushing yourself really, really hard. We can have these increases and influxes in our business without sacrificing ourselves and our well-being. And so I'm obviously happy in my own life that this has started to shift. But it's things like this where it's like sometimes you have to stick with it for a little bit before you actually start to see the shift and the change. And I'm starting to see the change, which is super, super exciting. And I really want people to experience this too, because things get to be so much easier and so much more enjoyable when we do this, right? A lot of us are building businesses out of these broken, abandoned, terrified little children that we are inside. And I think if we cleared a lot of these things, that we would get to build a business and a life that us and our inner child are excited and proud and love. And so I'm excited to be able to start doing that for myself. And I'm excited to be able to help you guys do that too. So if this resonated with you, make sure you follow the podcast. You can also subscribe to my Substack, so you get these episodes every week into your inbox, as well as some of my other content that I post on my YouTube channel. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, share, whatever you would like to do. Ways to work with me will be down in the show notes, description box, whatever platform you are on. Right now I have obviously my Substack. You can subscribe there, which does allow you to post comments and questions and stuff like that below the posts. Or you can choose to work with me. I do have my Business Energetic Breakthrough Bundle, which is 6 weeks of us working together one-to-one. We have three single sessions, basically, together. They're about an hour and a half each, and we blend the coaching with the energetic side of things, so we can not only work through things and figure out, okay, what needs to shift, but we can also incorporate the energetic piece to actually help you have the physical shift and change. So that is all down below. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here, as always, and I will see you guys next week for the next episode.